My name is Adam Burck. I'm the Executive Director of the Edgewater Development Corporation, and we're a non-profit, community-based organization.
What are the advantages to a business, to locating in Edgewater?
The population density is a huge benefit. Transportation network here is great. I mean, we have public transit of all forms: the Red Line, the lakefront buses, the local buses, the Metra, and bike and pedestrian as well. The bike network here is very strong. We have the lakefront bike path ends here, Lakeshore Drive ends here. So there's a lot of ways to get in our Edgewater. And in addition, it's the most densely populated community in the city. Most of that density is east of Broadway, but that's an attraction to retailers, because even if you don't, for example, like the Gold Coast, have the kind of income that somewhere like Streeterville or Lincoln Park has, if you have twice as many people in that area, you have the equivalent of disposable income.
And how do the commercial rents compare with some of those other neighborhoods?
Oh, they're a lot less. Yeah. I mean, the going rent in Edgewater is somewhere between $20 and $30 a square foot. I mean, it's gone up. It's inched up in the last few years because of the property taxes.
Is Edgewater pretty well served from a retail perspective, or underserved?
No. There's huge leakage. I think it's over $400 million a year of spending that people from this community do elsewhere because they can't get what they need in this neighborhood. And we did a survey a couple years ago. That was one of the first major projects I did when I started here. And we asked people what they shopped for outside the community and what they would like more of in the community. And pretty much it was the same. What they shopped for outside the community: clothing, entertainment, restaurants. Even people wanted more of. That's probably one of the most well-represented uses in Edgewater, but nonetheless, people still wanted more. Groceries was about the only thing that was much lower on the list, because that's the one thing we do have an abundance of.
Has the retail environment improved at all, or treaded water, or what would you say?
Well, since I've been here, there's been the Bryn Mawr district was the first major initiative of our organization, getting that declared a historic district, getting the TIF designated there. We worked, of course, with the alderman very closely on that, and bringing in the developer Holston, and then we also brought in Francesca's, the Jolly Sprockets, and since then we've been working with a lot of new retailers and restaurants that have come in, like Salon Echo, Flourish Bakery and Cafe, and those have really added to the district. So that was the first real. Now, shortly, we'll be hearing an announcement about Nookie's opening. They finally are closing on the property with the city, so that's the last vacant property on Bryn Mawr that is owned by the city and will be soon transferred to Nookie's, and we'll see a Nookie's and some other retail open. So we're concentrating on other areas as well. That was the first kind of big success story, but we've been looking a lot at Granville and Broadway, and of course North Clark Street. Andersonville doesn't really need any help. It's the rest of the area.
Granville seems to be sort of on its way, maybe? I mean, there's been a little bit of...
Yeah, they're breaking ground now. They finally got the permits for the big building on Granville and Broadway. And Staples announced that they're going to open a store there. And so I'm also working with other retailers, a really great restaurant from Lakeview that wants to open up in Edgewater, Uncommon Ground, if you know them. This is their next stop. They want to open up a second location, so we're trying to find space here in Edgewater.
Metropolis seems to do
Metropolis
well.
is great. He's done a wonderful job.
And is that the kind of business that attracts other businesses to the block?
Yeah, what's interesting is when Metropolis opened, people used to hate going to Granville because there was the main businesses there were the liquor stores, and some other very, very unsuccessful businesses. And when Metropolis opened, all of a sudden people said, "Oh my God, there's people like me in Granville." There's not just people looking for cheap liquor. And so it's done a great service to that street when Metropolis opened, and then Left of Center Books opened up there as well. But she wasn't really capitalized well enough, so she wasn't able to get that business going. So Metropolis took that space over as well.